All right, here we are at the climax of the story. Blue Cape and friends have been fast at work trying to solve the mystery of Strange's death. Their calculations have led them to the door of Baron Mardo, the door that the Baron is currently hiding behind. Now let's crack the spine. Chapter 8 Mordo. Baron Carl Amadeus Mordo is a lot of things, but a coward hiding from his lifelong ambition? That's not one of them. He opens the door and tells Strange that he found his artifacts planted in his study moments before their assault. If he had truly fulfilled his deepest desire to end Strange's life, would he really conceal it? Would he not gloat and take every chance to relish in it? And with that, he tosses the Eye of Agamotto and the cape to the ground. It's the same point that he made earlier, but it still holds. Things still don't add up to Mardo. Now back at square one, Blue Cape and friends leave the castle. Chapter 9 Down and Out on Bleecker Street. Back at the Sanctum, the trio speak to Captain America via Avengers card. Cap shares an image of the child captured by British intelligence. It's consuming Dagoth. They realize the gravity of the situation and that with each passing moment, the three mothers could come for any of them, the refugees or Earth natives. Strange mentions the relief of the closure of Strange Academy, for any concentrated group of magic users are currently at risk. And Cap asks how the investigation's going, but Blue Cape confesses the truth. They are out of leads. Blue Cape throws the card in frustration and collapses into a chair, feeling defeated. Wong picks the card up off the floor and offers to deal with the Avengers while Steven works on his next move. I love that Wong rocks traditional robes and Air Force Ones. Where my sneakerheads at? Ever think we'll see MCU Wong in some low dunks? But Blue Cape is at a complete loss as to what to do next. He feels disconnected and out of place. He doesn't recognize the people in his life and feels overwhelmed. He even poses the question, who did he think that he was to believe that this would even work? To which Clea replies that he thought he was Dr. Stephen Strange, master of black magic, and in the moment that he comes from, he truly believed that he could do anything. And she tells him that that's who they need right now. That she believes that that is who he still is, and with a kiss on the cheek, she leaves him to his thoughts. Blue Cape stands there for a moment, alone probably for the first time since he stepped through that portal, when a voice beckons to him from below. It's Bats, who knows that he and this version of Strange haven't met yet or had a chance to talk since he got there. But he still smells like his version of Steven, and Bats asks him if he wants to go for walkies. I really like how things have come full circle, back where our story started, with Strange and Bats out for walkies, which proves to be a very useful way to ponder. And Bats offers a compelling perspective. If someone went to such lengths to frame Carl for Steven's death, which also robs Mordo of his prized moment, then who could possibly have a motive against them both? Who hates both Baron Mardo and Stephen Strange? And Bats says for all they know, it could be someone after Blue Cape's time, but before Bats's. But this all strikes a chord with Steven, and believing that he has a solid lead, they fly off to gather the others. Chapter 10 The Drawing Room. In true murder mystery fashion, they gather all the key players in one location to reveal the killer. They meet in the domain of Umar, Clea's mother. The warlords feign ignorance and posture, willing to hear Blue Cape out of pure amusement. So he gets right to it, recanting the entire sequence of events, and lays it all out like a detective at the end of a crime drama. How under any normal circumstances, the warlords would never team up together, but in desperation, for self-preservation, they could conceive a way to flee to Earth together. Now they wanted to move entire kingdoms. That would require removing the obstacle or enlisting the aid of the Sorcerer Supreme. So what they did was imbued a pawn with their combined powers enough to ritualistically kill Doctor Strange and steal the power of his office. Then, with the barriers down, the warlords could move in. And that pawn is none other than Caecilius. The traitor is caught strange-handed and is about to unleash his power on his foes. But having sensed this immense magical power, the three mothers and child have gathered outside, much to the dismay of the local penguins. It is clear that this is a well-laid trap. The question is, for who? Now, there was an additional tie-in added in between issues 4 and 5 that was not on the original call sheet. I'm not entirely sure why they decided to add it in last minute, but I assume that it has to do with whatever the future of the Sorcerer Supreme will be. So let's crack the spine of Death of Doctor Strange, Bloodstone. Elsa Bloodstone is one of those characters with a complicated history. It's been retconned and cherry-picked through the Marvel Now experience, and since so much of her lineage is explained and expanded upon in this book, I'll save her publication history for another time. While fighting some kind of demonic hellhound thing, Elsa notices a meteor in the sky. She races home to Bloodstone Manor, her childhood home, and the remaining inheritance that she and her brother now share. It is explained that the place is in such poor shape because of Colin's condition. He is possessed by a demonic parasite called Glartrox, and they get into an argument. Elsa wants Colin to fix what he breaks, and Colin is upset that his elder sister wants to sell their family home, when that meteor suddenly comes crashing into the manor. Their bloodstones start to react to whatever is coming from inside the meteorite, and they are dragged closer to the rock, which cracks open once they get near, revealing a woman that looks oddly like them, or more accurately, like their father, Ulysses Bloodstone. 10,000 years ago, Ulysses made a bargain. He was distrusting of a growing power of the magical warlord Kraken, so he sought enough power to jail and banish him from the realm, which he was able to do at great personal expense. His firstborn and then only child Lyra was banished as well, along with the Null Gem. According to Lyra, the Null Gem stabilized and amplified the Blood Gem's power. Without it, the Blood Gem is extremely volatile and unstable. Without the Null Gem, the prolonged use of the Bloodstone usually causes extreme madness. Her imprisonment was maintained over the years by powerful sorcerers, and they speculate that her return is a direct result of the death of Doctor Strange. The Bloodstones are not naturally trusting people, as their harsh and seemingly cruel upbringing by Ulysses keeps them on their guard, and that's no different with Lyra. Elsa and Colin's suspicions seem to be justified when in the middle of the night, they find their sister feeding off magical artifacts in the attic. She says that for centuries, wizards and sorcerers have fed her spells, artifacts, and other magic relics to keep the Null Gem satisfied. And Colin sees these items as his inheritance and his birthright. His anger flares up and Glartrox takes hold. He attacks Lyra, and she uses her powers to siphon off Glartrox's power, subduing him and allowing Colin to better control it and even change at will. And while he's out, Elsa gets a chance to learn more about Lyra and her passionate dislike for sorcerers. She tells Elsa that in all of that time, all of those wizards, warlocks, and sorcerers that kept the Null Gem fed and her contained, not one of them asked who she was or tried to help her. And I'd say the reason for that is answered when Kraken the Jailer makes himself known, having also been freed from that binding spell no longer being active. Lyra starts to set a trap, a magical null zone, so to speak. Initially, I think the plan was to banish Kraken there, but he proves much more powerful than they thought. He grabs Lyra, enraged that they would use both gems against him, but this only gives her the opportunity to siphon his magic, and though it nearly overwhelms her, she completely consumes Kraken's magic and nullifies it. Afterwards, they use the Null Circle to pull Glartrox out of Colin and banish him. She offers to show him how to do this so that he can channel and banish spirits at his discretion. And by the end of the book, Elsa has a newfound chip on her shoulder for sorcerers, and the next time she sees the Sorcerer Supreme, she's gonna have some questions for him. Now, I think this is an important issue, and the nuance of which we can discuss further in a Bloodstone specific video, because right now, I am overly hyped for the final issue of this series. Next, The Death of Doctor Strange Issue 5, the conclusion. Or maybe it's just the beginning. Who do you think will become the next Sorcerer Supreme? Will Steven return? Will Wong step up? Perhaps Clea? Or do you think that Bats will finally get his day? Come on, Hound Supreme!